Welcome to Biz Tips with Jenny Rice, bringing you insights from real entrepreneurs. No fluff, just raw, practical strategies from those who've been in the trenches. Whether you're launching, scaling, or pivoting, this podcast is your backstage pass to lessons, successes, and game-changing tips. Get ready to learn, take action, and level up. Let's dive in with our next guest.
Hi, this is Jenny Rice, the Biz Tips podcast. I'm so excited about our guest today. We have Brenda Soucy, who's an import expert. So welcome.
Thank you, Jenny, for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you as a guest. Why don't you start with a little bit about your background and what brought you to where you are today in your business?
Well, my background is, as a little girl, my parents have a transportation company, import Canadian products going to United States and bringing back United States products into Canada. So that was always my environment. And after I went and did my postgrad in international business. And after all these different subjects of international finance, HR, international, everything, I choose to continue and expand on the international import-export outside of with working with airlines and steamship lines. So that's what I'm doing now after 25 years of changing, being an international freight forwarder. After that, I worked in manufacturing and then in the aviation manufacturing and then in mining. And then now I'm a consultant and a fractional part of a business of my clients.
That's amazing. So you have such a wealth of experience from different industries, different businesses that you can really accumulate together to offer services to your clients.
Yes, because
Right.
I've been on both sides of the telephone at this point. I was the international freight forwarder where I would work with the service providers of customs brokerage. And so I was the one in there. And then when I moved to North Bay, Ontario, and in the manufacturing, that was an international aircraft. It was these Canadair CL-415, the water bombers that fight the forest fires. So these were international aircraft that were sold to the ministries, government. So I've worked with Italy, France, Croatia, Greece, Morocco, Malaysia, and the last few ones were sold to United States. So I was actually exporting that one as well. And in mining, I was shipping all over the world. So based on the experience I gained on the other side of the phone of the freight forwarder and customs broker, I know internally what the clients are going through. What are the challenges? They don't know what they don't know, so they cannot improve it. And I do find that the most expensive sentence I have found is, "We've always done it this way." So I have found myself that I was able to save a lot of money to a lot of different companies of my clients, and also looking at their supply chain and just switching things around that the product gets quicker to the end user, which is where the money comes in for a small business, medium-sized business, basically. Yeah.
That's great. So helping businesses look at different opportunities on shipping, import, export that might be more efficient, effective, cheaper. And I'm assuming now with the current marketplace, less tariffs and things like that too, right?
Yes, like right now, we're looking more at the other free trade agreements that Canada has, and expanding those markets as well. So a small business can look at finding a distributor or agents in within country to actually do the branding, do the marketing in within that country. And there's customer support in within that country as a distributor or an agent. So there's different ways that a business can open up their markets in other countries and expand. And what I find is that although what we're going through with Canada and the United States, as if there was a company that has all their eggs in their basket, now it's the opportunity to look at creating more baskets start one at a time, and then it eventually you realize that there's other people that wants your product, basically.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier when we were chatting before the podcast about pivoting after the pandemic, where you have to adapt to new business setup, the pandemic changed the way we do business, completely. And
Yeah.
now with the tariffs, people need to look at different avenues, different approaches to, logistics of moving products in and out and things like that. And I think it's a great opportunity to use your services to say, okay, we need to change things, we need to shift things, we need to pivot. How do I do that? Can Brenda help me do that?
Yes, and I have a Rolodex of contacts that I have been accumulating over the years as well. There's so many funding and trade missions and things like that that's opening up for the Canadians to go and do trade missions. They can have the funding. They have letters of guarantees that if they're concerned of payment exchange. There's all kinds of like tools and things out there that you can that a business now can expand and learn from. And so that's my Rolodex of people. When I know that one of my clients is requiring a certain type of or certain tool or a certain like service, I have a toolbox of people that I can go and help them expand their business,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, you're well entrenched in the industry, the business, the ins and outs and things like that. And what a great service you can offer, because to develop that knowledge and experience of your 20 plus years of doing this,
Yeah.
right, it's very hard to do that internally. So they can come and bring your services to help them make those decisions, shift things, and improve their, expand their, as you said, their export to different countries with the different trade agreements, right?
Yeah. And the thing is that I customize and tailored it to them, the client. I've always said, even when I was teaching my own employees, international import export is not a cookie sheet. Even though we have working processes and we follow through the scenarios, sometimes we pushes us to look outside the box. And that's where is my passion. That's what I love about international logistics is looking outside of that box. And there's so many different ways of doing something with costs and time and efficiencies that will be better for money in your pocket rather than other people's pockets, basically.
Right. And you get creative with solutions, right? And I would imagine shipping a plane internationally versus a box of bananas is very different to how you do that logistically too, right? So,
Yes, yes. So when we were exporting the aircraft into a new country, the paperwork would be the same, but it would be customs cleared when it was landed at the final destination. Even though it's flying through the borders, it's the same thing as when you're rolling a car through the border of the United States. That's your car, but if you purchase it, you'll have to declare it once you arrive in the destination country.
so when you ship an airplane, do you actually fly it there or
Yeah.
do you? Oh, cool. And you think of that, you say, why would you put an airplane in another airplane to bring it there when you could just fly it there, right?
Now, this one was the Bombardier Canadair, the water bombers, the Super Scooper. It's an aircraft that goes on the water for 12 seconds and grabs the water
Oh,
and it dumps the water on top of a firefighter,
amazing.
firefighters. Yeah.
What a
Yeah. So,
great, yeah, it's such a needed thing, nowadays with all the fires breaking out, right? So,
yes, yes.
yeah.
Mm,
Oh, fascinating business to be in. And
yes.
you said you're quite unique in your skill set too. You mentioned earlier in that there's not too many people that have that wealth and background of your experience that can provide that advice and consultancy.
Yeah, I am a PLOG designated, and the institution that provided me this with this designation, I called them to see like if there was other consultants, other fractional in this industry because it's an unknown to be a consultant in my industry of international logistics. So and I was told there was none. There were consultants, only me. And so I did my first consulting was for FedNor as an independent consultant. There was a FedNor grant and it was under the Northern Ontario Export Department. And so it was going into Northern Ontario businesses, looking at their current way of business. I see the gap and I implement, or I help them implement the best practices through training. Maybe it's work processes, maybe it's just changing the whole supply chain. I have a client in Thunder Bay. All of our clients are in United States. So the time and the cost to have to bring the importing from China into Thunder Bay, we set her up as a non-resident importer in the United States with a warehousing, and so it's being received in the United States, so it's quicker time. And it goes quicker to the end users or the buyers. And with this whole system that cut the time and costs for her, she was able to assign a business contract for a 10-year with a retail franchisee company in the United States. So because it was more efficient and cost time and inefficiencies were removed. Yeah.
Makes really good sense. So let me ask you some questions. You as a business owner, what challenges do you face in growing and expanding your business? I'd love to hear more about that.
My own personal business growth and development has been a little bit longer because I am, like I said, the only consultant. People don't know that I exist. People don't know that I do this. So it's really getting myself out there and sharing what I do, what I know, and doing a lot of networking and connecting with a lot of people. And you know what? It's been a gift because all this networking I have done, I have connected with people that has built up my Rolodex, my trust, my friendships, and business partners. So, so that has helped me to come where I am today. So, I would say the business development and getting myself known out there is the have been the most challenging for me.
Right. And I would imagine because you're so niche down and so specific, in a way, finding those clients might be harder, but at least there's clarity around the services you offer.
Yes.
So somebody can say, well, I don't do import export. I don't need your services. But somebody that does that, it would be some clarity around, I really could use your help, especially nowadays with the turmoil of import export and things like that. So, yeah.
A lot of my clients, some of them are startup companies. They want to cross the borders, but they don't even know where to start. So I'm able to guide them, set them up right from the get-go and build it. I take away the learning curve, and
Right.
I take away the cost and time that it takes to get that learning curve. I have another customer. We're doing imports from Indonesia and China and to the west coast of Canada. And as a fractional, he sent me an email and I was right on it. He did not need to give an orientation of the company. I just got it and I ran with it. There's no learning curve for me. I just do it while they're focusing on what they do best. I can take that time away from them and do what I do best. So those are the things that I bring to the table. Some are project as a consultant, but some are I'm just the extension of their
business.
department.
Right.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, right? Because they're not going to ship it once and done. It's going to be a regular thing. Maybe the airplanes might be one and done, but the other would be ongoing, right? That's the whole goal of being business. That's fascinating.
And the other thing that I also do, I call them triangle shipments, but if you own a company and you're buying parts in, let's just say, like I was saying, one of my clients was buying in Switzerland. We're in Canada, and procurement is purchasing in Switzerland, and this part was going to Indonesia, Mongolia, or even Australia to Indonesia. So from here, from Canada, I taught the client to actually being able to actually take the purchased product within the origin country and ship it directly into the end country. Does not need to take the cost and the time to come here the employee's time, and then ship it back out. So
Mm.
it went from a 3-week turnaround to a 2-day turnaround.
That's amazing. And that's a real straight impact on the bottom line, which is so
For sure.
valuable.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I've learned a lot about logistics today. So as we end the podcast, do you have any tips for other business owners that they can do as a takeaway?
There's a lot of tools out there. There's a lot of experts. There's a lot of information. Connect yourself with the experts that can support your business. Don't give up, and ask questions. Because I'm sure you'll find the answers to expand your growth and your business.
Yeah, I think it's a really invaluable tip. I like to believe too that you work in your wheelhouse, your expertise, and the things you enjoy doing and you're good at.
Yeah.
And if not, find an expert and outsource it. Find somebody that can help you, because you're going to end up might be spending money, but you're saving money and time and frustration because you're getting the experts in the field that you don't have, and you don't need to cultivate that knowledge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One last note. One of the clients that I started working for as a fractional, and within 2 weeks, I helped them save $10,000.
Amazing.
Because they did not know what they did not know, and I was able to. So that's a return on their investment of working with me. And the other thing I said to them, I said, that's so many hours that you've already paid me for, because I've saved you this money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, there's so many experts out there that can support business growth and answer questions.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I love that you say ask questions and then find, the help when you need it, when it makes sense. So
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's been very insightful, Brenda. Thank you so much for being a guest on this podcast. I really enjoyed chatting with you, learning from you, and the amazing services you offer.
Thank you, Jenny.
Which is great. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, for sure. This is Jenny Rice setting off with my very special guest, Brenda. Thank you again, Brenda.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on this episode of Biz Tips. For more insights, join us online. We share exclusive tips, resources, and strategies to help you grow and scale your business. Until next time, keep building, innovating, and making an impact.